Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
Thanks for joining us on Money FM 89.3. It's Mind Your Business with me, Audrey, Siek, and Ryan Huang. And today, Ryan, we're talking about cars, right? Since 1987, Vince Automotive has come a long way from a modest car workshop to a dynamic mobility group. You probably know them best for parallel car imports, but today they've got their hands in everything from car leasing to financing and after sales too.
Yeah, it's a nice business story about how they have grown over the years. And at the helm now is Galvin Khong, who took over the business from his father, bringing with him his early work experiences in Japan with Toyota, guided by principles like Kaizen and Omotenashi, which now define the company's culture.
Yeah, so today we're diving into how Vince is embracing AI, preparing for Singapore's electric vehicle future, and excitingly, they IPO'd the very first Catalist listing of the year.
That's right, the first to kick off the SGX IPO bandwagon, hopefully. So a sign of more things to come. Let's say good morning to Galvin Khong. He is the CEO of Vince Holdings. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Audrey, for having me.
Great to have you with us today.
Yeah, so lots to talk about, but let's start from the beginning when you had that company, Vince Holdings, from 1987 being founded by your father. How has working alongside your father shaped both the business and your leadership approach?
Yeah, so I joined my father in 2014. So that's about 11 years ago. And at that time, a lot of things were very manual. But when I look at my dad, right, he is a very hands-on person. So a lot of things, he's doing it himself. And one thing that I really learned a lot from him was the value of experience. So there are a lot of things that I thought I knew after a while, but I would constantly be surprised by him, his insights to the business and the level of thinking that was really amazing. So I think that's something that you could only gain from experience. So currently, it's really more of a hybrid between traditional and modern, I would say.
Yeah, so is there a difference in opinions or ideas? What's the type of dynamics you have?
So at the start, I would say that there were quite a lot of differences because, let's say for myself, coming from a conglomerate like Toyota in Japan and the way that they did things, versus coming back to Singapore and it's a small SME, very very manual, as I said earlier. So there were many suggestions that I actually said, but weren't being taken up early. Yeah, but it slowly changed. We exchanged opinions and then eventually we managed to hit some sort of common ground.
Okay, so Galvin, you alluded to this. You spent some time working in Japan, including at Toyota, one of the most respected names, in the automotive world. What do you take away from that experience, and how have you applied those lessons to running Vince Holdings today?
So one of the most important concepts that I learned from my time in Toyota is the concept of Kaizen. So it means continuous improvement. So this has been widely applied in the entire Toyota organization. And when I came back, I wanted to also ensure that we constantly improve. When I say constantly improve, it's really about small incremental improvements rather than trying to always get big gains. So we started off by changing things. So from the manual, let's not go straight to systems. Let's use Excel. And then after that, slowly improve getting systems and stuff. So all our staff are trained to have this mindset. And I'm trying to make it really into our culture. And another one of the concepts that I learned a lot, I wouldn't say it's a Toyota thing, but more of a Japanese thing. It's the idea of omotenashi, which means hospitality. So I think all of us are aware that the level of customer service in Japan is really high. And my time in Japan has also influenced me a lot. So when I came back, I also want to say, can we also introduce this level of high level of customer service and hospitality, extend this to our clients.
Okay, so omotenashi, hospitality, and then you have Kaizen, which is a mindset of improvement incrementally. And I guess that makes it sustainable. Give us a bit of idea what it means when someone goes through the experience at Vince Holdings. What do you mean by customer experience? What's different about it?
Okay, so I think one of the things that we try to do our best is to really serve our clients from the bottom of our hearts, right? Really put ourselves in their shoes, see what are their needs. We try our best to serve their needs, right? And we always treat our clients as not a customer but a client. So not just a one-time transaction, but more of that, later on we want to continue to take care of the client from the after sales to and later on. So that's something that we place a lot of emphasis on.
Okay, so a relationship through and through then
Yes.
is what you mean. Okay, and so Vin's is best known for parallel car imports, which kind of sets you apart from the usual dealerships. Why do you choose to focus on this business model, and what's the biggest advantage it offers your customers?
Okay, so as a parallel importer, I think one of the advantages that we have is we are not bounded by any one brand, and then we are also not bounded by any MOQs, or having to maintain big fancy showrooms. So that could keep our costs down, which means we could pass these cost savings to our clients. And also, being a parallel importer, we can, we can make it we are more nimble, and we can decide on the kind of inventory that we want, and then we are more reactive to our customers, right? And when the clients needs change, we can also change accordingly.
And I guess part of the business model is trying to get more services into the game, integrating other things as well. Walk us through what happens in the business, with car leasing, financing, after sales. How do they all come together?
Yeah, so it really also, it was because of our clients. So we listened to our clients. There were suggestions, there were questions to us. Hey, how come you are not doing this? So we started off was doing workshops. We did a little bit of parallel importing, and then after that, subsequently moved to leasing to do financing. And these services were also actually complementary of each other. So it really then evolved into becoming one whole automotive ecosystem to serve our clients' needs.
All right, so Galvin, we want to say congratulations on your recent IPO, the first one on the SGX Catalist board this year. So interesting timing though. So what made this the right time for Vin's to go public, and how will the funds raised help power your next chapter?
Yes, so as you are aware, an IPO preparations takes some time. We actually started early last year, and as of last year, we actually saw quite robust growth from 2021 to 2023, and we thought that it would be a good time to attempt a listing to raise funds to continue our next stage of growth. So we raised 6 million from our IPO, and a majority of this will go to IT and tech. So to continue the development of, let's say, ERP systems, integration of AI, building of apps. And apart from that, we are also looking at expanding our geographical footprint. So we are looking at opening new showrooms and perhaps new workshops as well.
All right, a couple of things to unpack there. But before we get there, on the IPO, why do you decide to go with a private placement and not a public tranche to draw in more investors?
Okay, so let's put it this way. I think we were looking at efficiency. Okay, we didn't want to allocate too much time to fundraising, and we also managed to get cornerstone investors who were also, some of them were in the same industry as us and had the confidence in us. So that could streamline the entire IPO process.
All right, and you've been investing in AI as well, including an AI-enhanced ERP system for predictive pricing and inventory management. How big of a role do you see technology playing in a traditionally, what's been described as a bricks and mortar business like yours?
Yes, so I think for a business like us, because we have different verticals, there's data all over the place, and a lot of this data is unused and wasted if you don't look at it as a whole. And so I think with the integration of AI, what we want to achieve is to be able to give us better insights to make better business decisions, right? So, for example, we mentioned predictive pricing. We mentioned like inventory management, like the AI could then forecast what are some of the models that we should be bringing in more, or what are the inventories are perhaps not doing so well. Right, and I think one of the last ones is also, for example, we can do predictive maintenance alerts to clients. So every client drives differently, right? Some of them perhaps does higher mileage than the others. So one of the things that we get from clients is sometimes, can you help me by sending me a reminder? When is my next servicing?
Oh, so, I need that.
Right. So because every client is different, so having that kind of predictive thing can help client engagement, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can imagine it can be quite powerful, right? If you have the data about your customer, how big the family is, when the kids grow up, maybe you can upsell them to a bigger SUV or bandwagon.
Yes, that's also something that we are thinking of.
All right, let's talk about what's happening in the industry where you have Singapore being one of the world's priciest car markets. There's this big shift towards EVs by 2030. How is Vince positioned for this transition?
Yeah, so for EVs, at the moment, parallel imports, EVs, we do not have that many models to bring in because Japan is not so big on EVs at the moment. And so for us, we're actually focusing more on the pre-owned side. So we are actually trading more pre-owned EVs. While at the same time, we are also, of course, while looking at Japan, waiting for them to bring in to actually manufacture new EV models, we are at the same time also looking, at the Chinese market. Unfortunately, we cannot import a Chinese EV because it's a left-hand drive. So if we want to do something, we need to explore taking an authorized dealership and exclusive distributorship with a Chinese brand.
Yeah, so you mentioned being open to becoming an authorized dealer, especially for Chinese EV brands. How likely do you think is this pivot for Vince Holdings, and what would help you decide to go down that path?
Yeah, so being an authorized distributor is actually very capital intensive. So I think before we make any decision, we really have to evaluate to see whether the costs make sense, right? And I think more importantly is to also find the right partner, the right principal to work with. So I think at the moment, while I would say that the option is open. We have talked to a few before, right? But so it's really just keeping it open and then see whether we can find that right synergy with the right brand. Yes.
All right. Talk about synergies and adapting to what's on the table in the years to come. How have you seen the space evolve in terms of what customers are hoping for, looking to find? We've seen, for example, showrooms being integrated with cafes and so on. What's on the table for you in the next 5 years?
Okay, so for us, the first thing on our minds, first of all, is, as I mentioned earlier, is to expand our physical locations, our geographical footprint, so to be able to reach more clients and serve more clients. And also, of course, the AI-enabled ERP system. Hopefully, by 5 years, we've already fully implemented it, and we will then be able to provide very customized solutions to our clients based on their needs.
All right. Well, Galvin, before you go, we have to ask you for a piece of advice, for the next generation of entrepreneurs, for those listening, especially those stepping into family businesses. What kind of advice could you give them?
I think one of the single most important advice I think I can give is that respect is earned. You cannot demand it, right, just because you have the same surname, right? So really to go in and as much as possible start from as low as you can, right?
Okay.
And then learn your way up, respect, listen, right? Even though, you definitely have certain opinions, but probably better to keep it to yourself at the start.
Wise words there. Yes. So from embracing Japanese business principles to gearing up for an EV future and the big move to IPO, it's clear that Vince Holdings is a company on the move. Galvin, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you. That was Galvin Khong, CEO of Vince Holdings. Keep it here on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.